Morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Fred Upton, Chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, and we are going to go a little bit out of order. We're going to hear from David McKinley first because he's got an amendment on the floor in about 1 minute, 30 seconds. Here he is. Bells are ringing.
Thank you. Yes, we do have an amendment. It's one more effort for us to try to stop this war on coal. We had an excellent hearing on it yesterday, and we understand some of the arguments that they're posing, but they're bogus. It's dangerous what they're doing. This dangerous denial that we're not in a war on coal. We absolutely are. And all you have to do is look at the economic situation that we have in West Virginia to see what's going on. But what we have here are 4 people today, 4 miners, that understand. One of them has been unemployed for 6 months because he doesn't understand what's happened because of the uncertainty that's coming from the EPA. What they do is continue to cause problems in America. Their mission may be right, all long term, but this short term, when our miners are out of work, our people with 23 million people out of work is not right. So what we have here today, we have 4 people that are with us. Roger Horton's going to make some remarks. Roger, you're going to stand. Josh Nelson, Dennis Atkins, and Tiny Kitchen. Each of them have lived the life of what a coal miner is about. My grandfather was a miner. We understand what it is, but this fight is all about preserving the jobs and the economic viability of a state that's so dependent on the coal mining industry. Fossil fuels has a future, and this war on coal has to come to a stop. Thank you all very much for coming here today. Wish us luck on this amendment and passage of this bill today. Thank you. God bless all of you. Roger, take over.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. My name is Roger Horton. I'm from Logan, West Virginia. I want to thank the senators in our town, in our state, and our congressmen in our state for standing up for the state of West Virginia. I also want to thank Congressman Rahal for reaching across the aisle and making sure that this bill gets passed. We're sure of its passage. I'm here to tell you that for the last 4 years I have fought this incredible war on coal, and it's not right, it's wrong. We have got to change the way the EPA views the coal mining industry. This has to stop. We're looking at millions and millions of jobs. There are 23 coal-producing states in this United States that count on this industry, and we have got to change directions. I also have a message, and that message is going to be delivered by Josh Nelson. This message will be directed to the Senate. So please pay particular attention to the next message that you will hear. Thank you very kindly.
Hi, I'm Joshua Nelson. I'm a coal miner from Boone County. We're confident that this bill will pass the House because of bipartisan support for common sense legislation that will keep the jobs that we currently have. We've heard a lot of talk about all these jobs bills and stuff. This is a proven jobs bill that needs to be passed. Coal mining has provided thousands of jobs for many people. We just want a message for the Senate that if this bill does not pass, we've got grassroots organizations ready in your district to knock on doors and let your citizens know and allow for a referendum on your record in November. Thank you.
Very good job.
Well, again, I'm Fred Upton. I very strongly believe in a North American, all-American energy independent plan, and you know what? Coal is part of that. And in Boone County, just last week, one of the reporters said this. News was breaking about coal mines being closed, lots of miners being laid off. And he said when the underground work stops, everyone above ground pays the price. I was down in Southern Virginia earlier this week, and I met with the Alpha CEO shortly after he announced a whole number of mines being closed and 1,200 miners being laid off. If America is going to be able to compete in the rest of the world, we've got to do it all. So whether it be safe nuclear, natural gas, renewables, and yes, coal have to be part of that equation. That's what this bill on the House floor is about today. We expect it to pass with bipartisan support. And next, I want to introduce John Michael. Here? No, here. Let me introduce Doc Hastings, Chairman of the Natural Resources Committee.
Thank you, Fred. And this is a very, very important bill because this bill is about American energy and about American jobs. And my committee, for the last nearly 3 years, has been conducting an oversight of a potential rewrite of the stream buffer zone rule that this administration put in place. A little background: this stream buffer zone rule took 5 years to put in place, and this administration essentially abandoned that rule, and we've been trying to get the information as to why they have done that, because that has a huge negative effect on the coal industry. But the individual that has lived this and has really been a bulldog on this issue is a member of my committee from a coal producing part of Ohio, Bill Johnson. Bill, let me introduce Bill Johnson. Bill.
Well, thank you all for coming out today. We had a great series of debates yesterday to stop this war on coal launched by the administration. We're going to have more today, and I'm confident that the House of Representatives is going to pass this legislation today. It's a beautiful day out here. Sun is shining. We have a very bright day today, and if we want a bright future for tomorrow, for America, we've got to understand that coal plays a critical role in that future. It provides 45% of America's energy today. The state of Ohio alone gets 80% of that energy, their energy from coal. It's important. And I'm so very glad to have so many of my colleagues that have joined in this fight to stop the administration's war on coal. And I think we're ultimately going to be successful. Let me let you hear from Representative Ed Whitfield from Kentucky. He's the co-author of the Energy Tax Prevention Act. And Ed, come and talk to us.
Well, thanks, Bill, and thank you all for being with us this morning. You know, I place at the foot of Barack Obama the responsibility for the assault on the coal industry. If you'll remember, when he was a candidate for president, he emphatically said that if he was elected president, that he would bankrupt the coal industry. And he's following through on that commitment through the EPA and the avalanche of new regulations. And these new regulations are such that you cannot build a new coal-powered plant in America because there's not any technology available to meet the emission standards and use coal. So we're, with this legislation, trying to restore some balance on to meet our energy needs, because we've got to remain competitive in the global marketplace with low electricity costs, with abundant electricity. But most important, this legislation will protect coal mining jobs in America, and coal has to continue to play a vital role to meet the energy needs of this nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. We'll now hear from Representative John Sullivan from Oklahoma. He's the author of the Train Act.
Thank you, Congressman Johnson, and I want to thank you for being here today. And I want to thank Chairman Whitfield for his steadfast, his defense of all of the above energy strategy in this country, and also the coal industry. He fights for it every single day in Washington, because what he said, he's right. Chairman Whitfield, what he said about jobs, I mean, this is about jobs in the economy. The American people right now, with a slow economy, need affordable, reliable energy. And coal is a huge part of that, and it needs to be protected. You know, the coal industry is doing a great job of reducing their emissions on their own. They're doing a great job of that. And one of the bills that we've introduced, and Chairman Whitfield has championed as well, is the Train Act. You know, I remember Chairman Whitfield asking Lisa Jackson, the EPA director, do you do cost-benefit analysis on these regulations that you're proposing that cost billions of dollars? You know what she said? No. And he asked, why do you not do that? She says, because we don't have to. Well, this bill, the Train Act, is going to require them to do cost-benefit analysis on these burdensome regulations to show the American people, to show how it affects jobs and global competitiveness, and also electricity rates, and shows that it will shut down plants and we'll lose jobs here in America. Right now our economy is over 8%. There's millions of people out of work. This is actually asinine to do this right now. I mean, we need to do all we can. And a lot of people ask us all the time on the Energy and Commerce Committee, What are you going to do to create jobs in America? Well, we don't. Politicians don't create jobs. But what we can do is get the heck out of the way. We need some basic regulations in this country, that's true. But some of these are absolutely ridiculous, and it's hurting our economy. And the best way to get people back to work is to get rid of these onerous regulations that are hurting people, shutting down coal mines, taking coal mining jobs, which are good jobs, and hurting the energy industry. But bottom line, hurting the American people. Thank you.
I appreciate the work that John has done on the Train Act. You know, regulations cost our economy about $1.7 trillion a year, and reining in these regulatory agencies and getting them out of the way is one of the most important things that we're doing here. Another state that is very involved in coal production is the state of Virginia. And let's hear from Representative Morgan Griffith from Virginia.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate you being with you all this morning. Alpha Natural Resources is headquartered in my district. We are losing hundreds and thousands of jobs across the area. And it's not just what we often hear about the economy, but sometimes the American people don't understand what that means. When we talk about these onerous regulations and this war on coal, we're not only costing coal jobs, we're costing the jobs of people who supply materials to the coal mines. We're talking about the people who work at the grocery stores. We're talking about the trains that carry the coal. We're talking about the port in Norfolk, Virginia, a good 5 or 6 hours away from me, where they export some of that coal out. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you that we were hearing testimony yesterday where just one of the many regulations that we're debating right now, just one of those regulations will add an additional 20% cost to electric prices. You know, the president, when he made those comments that were referenced earlier and talked about bankrupting the coal industry or coal power plants, he also threw in natural gas, and he said the cost will be passed on to the consumers. Who does he think the consumers are? The consumers are the average American working hard, trying to make it in a tough economy. That's who the consumers are. And Mr. President and Lisa Jackson of the EPA, I beg you not to continue this war on coal, which passes that cost on to every American family and every American business. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Another state that's very involved in coal production, the state of Utah. Representative Rob Bishop.
Everyone has outlined the situation that we find ourselves in. It is true, there is a war on coal. This bill that will be voted today gives us a choice of which direction we wish to move as a country. Either we can take a direction that allows us simply to freeze in the dark without jobs, or you can recognize that coal is one of those elements that has to be there if you're going to have affordable energy that builds our economy and provides for those jobs. All of us who are involved in this realize we need an all-of-the-above energy policy, and coal is an essential element of it. We should not try to diminish that. And I just appreciate being part, and especially the bills that are being led here by my good colleagues who are doing such a great job enforcing this issue.
Thank you, Rob. And from one of our neighboring states over across the river from Ohio, the great state of Pennsylvania, Representative Glenn Thompson, he has a lot of stake in the coal industry as well. Glenn?
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. You know, the Obama war on coal has many casualties. And most recently, those casualties include 1,200 jobs that was just announced and closing of 8 mines in 3 states, including the great state of Pennsylvania, and quite frankly, within the Pennsylvania 5th Congressional District that I'm honored to represent and serve. And you've heard a lot about, and in fact, in Pennsylvania, 44% of our electricity comes from coal. It's the most affordable and reliable energy that we have. And you've heard a lot about the jobs, the devastating impact on jobs that the Obama war on coal is having. You've heard about issues related to energy security. You've heard about issues related to, I hope, national security in terms of when we really eliminate our most affordable, reliable energy that we have. But I want to address it just briefly from a standpoint of a moral perspective, because there is a moral perspective when it comes to the Obama war on coal. And that is, think about the folks in this great nation who are frankly just struggling paycheck to paycheck. Those who are on fixed incomes, those are just just getting by each and every day. You know, coal provides us an opportunity to provide electricity at somewhere around 4 to 6 cents a kilowatt hour. That's affordable. But when you eliminate coal, when you go with the end result of what the Obama war on coal hopes to accomplish, which is really a war on all the below, all fossil fuels, you'll wind up with a kilowatt hour price of at least 21 to 24 cents. Now think about someone who is on that fixed income, whatever that, for whatever reason, and coming up to them and saying, you know what, next month we're going to start to triple and quadruple your electric bill. How do these folks pay that? They don't. They're just getting by now with where they're at. So there is a moral perspective to this Obama war on coal that we absolutely as a nation need to keep in mind. So thank you for being here, and thanks to all my colleagues for your great work of really taking on and tackling these no less than 11 EPA regulations that is just seeking to eliminate affordable and reliable energy in this country.
Thank you, Glenn. Now we'll hear from our chairman of the Transportation Committee, Chairman John Mica.
See that, guys? That's what it's all about, guys. This is the war on coal. This isn't something that we made up. This is about jobs. This is about people not having jobs, and our little part in the Transportation Committee is in fact stopping the war on coal and getting people to work. Unfortunately, what they have done, this administration, is tried to usurp the authority of states, both as far as water, and our committee oversees the Clean Water Act, but also as far as mining permits and the very sovereignty and ability of states to conduct business, and reneging on agreements that they've already made for permitting, for standards. So we have a small part in this. I want to thank Bill Johnson for his leadership, Fred Upton, all the others, Mr. Thompson's here, and these members for bringing this bill forward that is a composite of efforts. Let me introduce one of the great leaders in Congress, another full committee chairman, and he has an important part. Gentleman from Washington, Doc Hastings has spoken, as you heard. But I want to tell you that you can't do a bill like this, a composite bill like this, without his leadership, without Fred, and I didn't see Fred here, and Mr. Bishop, all of these members coming together, putting together a bill. Again, I have a small part of it that will make a difference in stopping the war on coal. So thank you for coming out. Thank you for loaning me.
Thank you, Chairman. Let me close out here by trying to put this in context just a little bit. One rule alone, Chairman Hastings talked about it, the stream buffer zone rule. We're looking at a rule that, if imposed, would cost 7,000 direct jobs in the coal industry. That's by the administration's own admission. Tens of thousands of jobs if you apply the indirect jobs to that. Reduce coal production by 50% across America. I mean, it's not just about the coal industry itself, but it's about the energy that it provides to fuel America's economy. You know, the coal industry fueled America's economy during one of the most innovative periods in our nation's history, during the great space age, when we put a man on the moon. If we had real leadership in the White House, and if we had real leadership in the environment, in the agencies like the EPA and the Department of the Interior, that were prepared to work as partners in progress with America's businesses, we would be seeing another great horizon, another great vision called American energy independence and security. And the coal industry plays a vital role in that. We talk about manufacturing and the need to bring back a resurgence of manufacturing in America. And yet this administration's war on coal goes about attacking the very energy sources that would fuel that resurgence in manufacturing. I've got a plant right down there in southeastern Ohio right now that is in jeopardy of having to lay off over 1,000 employees because of skyrocketing utility rates. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about jobs, it's about our economy, it's about the future of America, it's about our energy independence and security. I'm so very, very proud of all of my colleagues and the hard work that Chairman Hastings and Chairman Upton, Chairman Mica, and all of various committees have put forward to launch this legislative package. And today we're going to see the House of Representatives take a big step forward. I implore the Senate to act on this, and I implore the President to stand up to what he promised in his State of the Union speech when he said he believes in an all-the-above energy policy. Let's let him put some action behind those words and support H.R. 3409. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll take just a few questions. Thanks for being here today. I'm sorry, Chairman, one of the my subcommittee chairman that I worked for on the minerals and mining, Chairman Doug Lamborn. Doug, you got some comments?
Very quickly, and I was going to let you say it all, Bill, because your leadership is great on this legislation. Title I, which is based on your bill, is so important because this administration is giving lip service to creating jobs, and yet the OSM regulations that they're working on as we speak will kill 7,000 coal jobs in our country. So we have to give that agency a timeout to go back and do it right. They're rushing it through. They're not listening to the states and other stakeholders. They need to do it right. That's why this bill is so important, and I congratulate Bill Johnson on his great work. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. We'll take